Now, we'd like to present to you the next generation aviation professionals of Sri Lanka. So I leave it to them to present this to all of you. Please.
Thank you, Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, now you are going to witness an interesting presentation by some of the young aviators in Sri Lanka. You witnessed them, and some of you were received by our young aviators early this morning. And I can tell you that they have been extremely excited about this moment, and they have been practicing so hard to make this moment a reality. At the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka, we believe, just like what Mr. Nelson Mandela said some years ago, that education and awareness is the most powerful weapon to change the world. On those lines, around the year 2008, Sri Lanka felt that aviation was not being, the knowledge of aviation was not being transmitted to the grassroots areas where children were not able to learn much about aviation. So to avoid that, to ensure that we make the young generation aware about aviation activities, under the guidance of our Director General, Mr. HMC Nimalsiri, a new initiative was set up. And this initiative was to set up aviation clubs around the country. I'm happy to say, by today, we have over 630 aviation clubs all around Sri Lanka promoting aviation among the next generation of aviators. So we have young kids who are around the age of 12 to up to the age of 18, learning about aviation, learning some of the things you are discussing today, and looking at the future to develop themselves as professionals. To take you further on the presentation and to enlighten you about the evolution of aviation clubs in Sri Lanka, I like to invite a young man. This young man is the president of the Aeronautical Club of Nalanda College. Nalanda is a very famous school just in Colombo. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure it's a big honor for him. Shall we put our hands together for young Oshada Atukorala?
Thank you, Mr. Rehan. A very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's my absolute pleasure and honor to be in front of you as the president of Nalanda College Aeronautical Society, representing the all schools in Sri Lanka. Ngap is a program launched in 2009 by ICAO to ensure that qualified and competent aviation professionals are available to operate, manage, and maintain the future international air transport. In past, there was lack of awareness about the aviation field among school children in Sri Lanka. In address this, in 2008, under the supportive hand of Mr. HMC Nimalsiri, Director General of Civil Aviation Sri Lanka, a group of volunteers of the Civil Aviation Authority started an organization named as the Sri Lanka Aviation Club. In 2010, this club was renamed as the Cadet Program. During the last 8 years, they have done an appreciative task of conducting 43 programs all over Sri Lanka, introducing aviation to the next generation. To speak more about the Cadet Program, let me now invite the former president of Holy Cross College Aeronautical Club, Ms. Dilsha Erandi.
CADEC, the Civil Aviation Development and Education Committee, was started in 2008. a group of volunteers in the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka formed the Sri Lankan Aviation Club, simply known as the SLAC, which was funded by themselves. The main objective of the club was to enhance the knowledge of the school children on aviation. To achieve this, a magazine was published by the SLAC containing various articles related to aviation. The club also started conducting educational programs on aviation. One of the main tasks undertaken by the CADEC was establishing aviation clubs in schools. Today, more than 600 clubs have been formed, covering almost all the parts of the island. These clubs are not just limited to city areas, but have been spread all over the country, including rural areas. The success achieved by the CADEC in forming these clubs in schools can be seen from the activities organized by the members of school aviation clubs. The Guansara magazine, published by the CADEC, is issued for free, targeting school children mainly in the rural areas. The main objective of issuing this magazine is to educate children on the evolution and new trends in the field of aviation. Workshops are conducted for the school administrations in order to educate them about the importance of having an aviation club in their schools and the benefits that can be obtained by the students. Awareness programs are conducted for the school children to educate them about the various fields in aviation and future employment opportunities. Hot air balloons were the very first mode of air transportation used in the world. Even today, Sri Lanka has the best climate and environment to experience a hot air balloon ride. Therefore, hot air balloon festivals are organized. Creativity of the students is improved by organizing kite shows. Essay competitions are conducted to improve the knowledge of students. Students are provided with the guidance and support to have exhibitions in their schools to improve creativity. Up to now, there have been about 43 aviation-related programs organized around the island. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have students representing school aviation clubs. I would like to ask a simple question from them. Is there anyone here who can briefly explain about the benefits that they have gained from the programs conducted by the Civil Aviation Authority so far? Okay, let me translate in Sinhala. කාට හරි පුළුවන්ද මේ තාක් දුරට ශ්‍රී ලංකා සිවිල් ගුවන් සේවා අධිකාරිය විසින් සංවිධානය කරලා තියෙන ක්‍රියාකාරකම් වලින් තමන්ගේ ජීවිතයට ලබාගත් දේ පිළිබඳව පුංචි පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් කරන්න. ඔබට වේදිකාවට ආරාධනා කරනවා.
ඇත්තටම එවියේෂන් කියන්නේ අපි හැමෝම ගොඩක් ආස දෙයක්. ඒත් අපි මේ සිවිල් එවියේෂන් එකේ අපේ මේ DGC නිමල් සිරිසව හම්බෙන්න කලින් එවියේෂන් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලාවත් දැනන් හිටියේ නෑ. අපි DGC හම්බෙන්න ආවට පස්සේ DGC අපිට එවියේෂන් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා දීලා අපිව දැනුවත් කරලා මඟ පෙන්නලා අපිව යොමු කරනවා කැඩෙක් එකට. අපි කැඩෙක් එකත් එක්ක සම්බන්ධ වුණාට පස්සේ දැනගන්නවා එවියේෂන් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා. ඇත්තටම මම පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳන් ආසාවෙන් හිටියේ පයිලට් කෙනෙක් වෙන්න. ඒත් මේ සිවිල් එවියේෂන් එකේ තියෙන කැඩෙට් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකත් එක්ක සම්බන්ධ වුණාට පස්සේ මම දැනගත්තා ඊට වැඩිය ගොඩක් දේවල් මේ ෆීල්ඩ් එකේ තියෙනවා කියලා. ඇත්තටම අපි ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා පාසල් ළමුන්ව මේ වගේ දැනුවත් කිරීම ගැන. ඒ වගේම අපි කැඩෙට් එකෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා ඉස්සරහටත් මේ විදිහටම පාසල් ළමුන්ව මේ සිවිල් එවියේෂන් ෆීල්ඩ් එක ගැන දැනුවත් කරන්න කියලා. Thank you.
If I summarize what he said, he says that he wanted to become a pilot in the beginning since he knew very little about aviation. But through the programs conducted by the CADEC, he has now learned that there are so many parts in the aviation field which a student like him could choose. He strongly believes that they will be getting further support from the CADEC in the future, and also with the formation of Ngap Sri Lanka, he believes that they will be able to achieve their future goals successfully. Now I would like to call upon Ritika Jayavira to explain about the activities organized by the school aviation clubs in order to improve their interest towards aviation.
Thank you, Disha. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be talking about the experience we gained through the aeronautical clubs in Sri Lanka. Firstly, the main role of an aeronautical society is to organize and conduct lectures and workshops for students. As I told you, there are many competitions organized by aeronautical clubs in schools like remote control flying competitions, inter-school quiz competitions, kite competitions, and etc. We as young aviators gain a lot of knowledge from these competitions. The winners in these competitions are awarded with certificates, trophies, and sometimes scholarships. RC flying is in high demand among young aviators, and it opens them a new pathway in aviation. They are practically demonstrated, and it helps us to understand basic aerodynamics. With all the work these clubs have, they haven't forgotten to spread the aviation knowledge among new schools and strengthen their aviation community. Almost all the aviation clubs in Sri Lanka organizes field trips. They are organized annually. The main objective of these trips is to visualize the knowledge the aviation students get and updating it with the advancements in aviation. Aviation clubs also organize annual days and exhibitions for the main purpose of strengthening their aviation community. So, I hope as an aviation student that these clubs help in increasing enthusiasm among young aviators, which will lead the next generation to become aviation professionals. Now, let's take a look at a video clip which tells us about the activities organized by the CADEC.
Aviation is one of the most exciting and glamorous industries in the world. Until a few years back, most Sri Lankan youth were strangers to the world of aviation. Thanks to the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka, the local youth were given a glimpse of aviation through many promotional activities conducted island-wide. The dawn of a different era for aviation began in Sri Lanka in year 2008 with the Civil Aviation Authority pioneering formation of the Civil Aviation Development and Education Committee, the CADEC. Guansara is a colorful and educative aviation magazine presented in an attractive way and published periodically by the CAA and distributed free of charge amongst schools to pave the way for our children to get good insight into aviation. CADEC is dedicated to boost up the younger generation and promote them turning to the aviation. It aims at educating the next generation aviation professionals to meet the future demands. We firmly believe in synergism, making good use of the more knowledgeable youth whom we have trained. CADEC strives to identify and create the new generation of aviation lovers. CADEC made all efforts to attract the enthusiastic youngsters in Sri Lanka by arranging awareness programs in schools and other youth organizations island-wide, which received positive responses. To date, CADEC was able to promote formation of 630 civil aviation societies and clubs around the country who engage in assorted aviation activities, which includes model aircraft manufacturing and flying, exhibitions, kart competitions, aviation quiz, and essay competitions, etc., to enhance the enthusiasm of our youth. Hot air ballooning is a treat to watch on a fair weather day in a scenic location. We have had exhibition flights on real hot air balloons for the benefit of aviation enthusiasts. With ICAO Ngap concept coming in, we firmly believe that this strategy will bear fruits. Launching of Ngap in Sri Lanka is a cornerstone of Sri Lankan aviation. There is absolutely no doubt that guidance given by ICAO through the Ngap concept will color our skies vividly.
My name is Nimesh Nelson. The experience and the knowledge we gain during school time makes us to be here, and I wish all the very best for the ongoing school program led by DGCA. Thank you.
Gopitharana Singha, Licensed Flight Operations Officer, working at the capacity of Operations Control Manager in Sri Lankan Airlines. The knowledge and the opportunities gained during my school time was very much beneficial for me to come to this position. So I wish all the success for this ongoing school programs led by Sri Lankan DGCA. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chamila Wickramasinghe. I'm a first officer on the 330 fleet. I would say the foundation for my career is the knowledge I gained from Nalanda College Aeronautical Society, and I wish all the very best for the ongoing school programs led by DGCA. Thank you.
I'm very happy at this moment because all this time my childhood dream was to join the cabin crew as a member, but all this time I didn't know the way to be join there. But now I joined the school aviation club and I'm well trained, and I know that I'm very suitable to join the cabin crew member at this time, because according to the motive shaping the future of the high flyers of aviation, I know that I was well shaped through this training program, and not only me, my friends and other school members was also trained. So I'm very happy at this moment, and I know that one day I'll be a cabin crew member and you'll meet me in the near future.
We are ready. Yes, we are ready now to move ahead by embracing the ICAO Ngap effort and strategy to thrust our own Ngap effort in Sri Lanka. We shall produce the professionals, the skillful pilots, the versatile engineers, vigilant air traffic controllers. We shall be a shining star in the Asian skies and the global skies.
We have some of the past pupils here with us today who have participated in the cadet programs, and I would like to put forward a question for you. Can someone share your experience and relate how your school aviation activities has influenced your future professional career?
Thank you. A very interesting question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Most of the people think that aviation is a very narrow field which includes only pilots and engineers, but that's incorrect. Talking from my personal experience, I was the president of the Aeronautical Society of my school, prestigious Nalanda College, and now I'm starting to become a doctor. And after finishing my higher studies, I'm planning to serve this field as a medical professional. So I'm glad that I can connect my professional life with my passion in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your comment.
Thank you, Dilsha. Ladies and gentlemen, you would have already seen that the young aviators had a stall run by themselves with their aircraft and other equipment. So let us look at the stall opening, which happened on Monday. The stall opening happened on Monday by the President of the Council of ICAO, the Secretary General, the Regional Director of ICAO, and of course the Honorable Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation. Have you already visited that stall? How many of you have visited their stall? You have? Right, fantastic. All right, let's move on to the next activity, which is the launch of their web page. And to do the honors, let me invite our dignitaries, the President of the Council of ICAO, to the floor. Sir. Also the Secretary General of ICAO, Dr. Liu, over there. Let me also invite the Regional Director of ICAO, they will be escorted by the young aviators. Also the Director General of Civil Aviation Sri Lanka, Mr. HMC Nimalsiri. And the Chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka, Mr. Ananda Wimalasena. Mr. Ananda Wimalasena. Let me also invite members of the Ngap Working Committee, Mr. Duncan, Mr. Prabhat, and Mr. Gimhan, to come to the floor. We also have the Secretary, Mr. Nilantha Tennakon, Secretary of CADEC. Ladies and gentlemen, now I have the honor of inviting the President of the Council and the Secretary General to launch the Ngap Sri Lanka website. Right. I would like the dignitaries to remain on the floor. Let me invite the Chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka to present a token of appreciation to the President of the Council of ICAO. We are indeed honored to have the presence of the President of the Council, the Secretary General, and the Regional Director with us for this important occasion for our young aviators. Let me also invite the Chairman to give a token of appreciation to the Secretary General of ICAO. May I now invite the Director General of Civil Aviation to present a token of appreciation to the Regional Director of ICAO. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have a token of appreciation for the man behind this project, the brainchild of all the activities we have done to promote aviation among the young children of Sri Lanka, and it will be presented by 2 students, and it will be awarded to our Director General of Civil Aviation, Mr. HMC Nimalsiri. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have an appreciation letter issued by the President of the Council, also signed by the Secretary General and the Director General of Civil Aviation Sri Lanka, to a very special teacher who has been behind helping develop aviation activities in Sri Lanka. She's the teacher in charge of the Nalanda College Aeronautical Society, and she has been at the forefront of promoting aviation. At the forefront of representing aviation among the children. So let me invite the President of the Council to present an appreciation letter to Ms. Shiromi Ratnayaka, the teacher in charge of the Aeronautical College of Nalanda College. There is also a token of appreciation to the chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka, which will be given by 2 of the students. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause as well? There is one more surprise appreciation letter. It's to one of our staff members who has been behind all these activities, organizing this event today. And he has been the forefront in encouraging and energizing these kids to come up with a fantastic presentation. This letter of appreciation will also be signed by the Director General of Civil Aviation, the President of the Council, and the Secretary General of ICAO. I'm sure it will be a very fantastic memory for him in the years to come. Indeed, it's not every day that you'll receive a letter of appreciation from the President of the Council and the Secretary General. So this letter of appreciation is awarded to one of our staff members, Mr. Gimhan Dabrera. Let me now invite Dilsha back on stage.
Yes, sir. We would like to get few comments from you. What do you think about our country?
Before I speak about your beautiful country, I want to ask the audience, don't you think this is one of the best items in the program we had so far? I'm sure some of us remember 40 years ago, 50 years ago. And with what we have seen today, we can be very, very, very hopeful of the future of our industry. Do you agree with me? Okay. Sri Lanka is a beautiful country. It is no wonder that Sri Lanka is described as the jewel in the Indian Ocean. And since we have arrived, all of us here, we've been very happy with the reception we've received. We've seen the warmth of your heart. We've seen the beauty of your country. But beyond that, we've seen the hard work that is being done to elevate the level of civil aviation in this country. And the contribution to the meeting we've had today also underscores the importance that you attach to your region and the leadership under you, Mr. Nimasiri, which we really appreciate. And the contribution also to the global aviation community and the support that ICAO enjoys from its relationship with Sri Lanka. Let me say that we are very pleased to be here. Your country is beautiful, your people are beautiful, and your aviation sector has a lot of hope, which we really appreciate. And let me also say this. We'll be having the 39th Assembly soon. Can you organize a booth during the 39th Assembly to underscore this beautiful program of the next generation of aviation professionals in order to demonstrate it as an example to our member states? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your comments. According to your opinion, what do you think, what are the areas that we need to improve in order to increase the knowledge of school children on aviation?
First of all, I would say Civil Aviation Authority, DG, and also your staff really have done great job. And I fully agree with the president. I should say this is one of the best memory I have. And I see this little girl with me, and what she said, I asked her, what you want to be as your career? She told me, pilot. So, ICAO is going to have an Ngap program in the coming training. I think you just give a very, very good start before we formally launch as ICAO program. And we're also very happy to see small girl, we will say empower women, gender equality, and we will see aviation will be more potential and also bright future. And I'm very, very thankful for this event, for this program, for this presentation. And I would say, ICAO, we need to do more to promote Ngap. And also, I would say, in the near future, ICAO would like to organize the competition context by participation of school girls and boys to our headquarters. I hope in near future it will realize. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. So what do you think about the awareness programs conducted by the CADEC in Sri Lankan schools?
As mentioned by Secretary General President, I think it's an excellent idea. And last 5-6 years, we in ICAO, we have been talking about Ngap. But this is the first time I'm seeing this kind of experiment done by Sri Lanka, and we are very happy with it. And we have great hope for the region now, and I'm sure the trainees from Sri Lanka would not only serve in Sri Lanka, but would serve the needs of the entire Asia Pacific region.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Sir, what do you expect the school associations to do to promote Ngap Sri Lanka?
Get more and more of your brothers and sisters to join aviation clubs and be benefited out of. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dilsha. May I now invite all the dignitaries back on to the head table? Dilsha posed some difficult questions or easy questions. Ladies and gentlemen, to propose the vote of thanks, let me now once again invite young Oshada Atukorala on stage.
Thank you, Mr. Rehan. As the next generation aviation professionals, we are grateful to President of ICAO Council, Dr. Bernard Aliu, Secretary General of ICAO, Dr. Fang Liu, Regional Director of Asia and Pacific Region, ICAO, Mr. Arun Mishra, Chairman of CASL, Mr. Ananda Vimalasena, and the DGCA Sri Lanka, Mr. HMC Vimansiri, for introducing the Ngap concept to the world. Ngap provides a great platform for school children to enter the world of civil aviation. So we are sure that ICAO and other regulatory bodies will be there to guide and support our efforts. And also, Ngap Sri Lanka will be available to assist any ICAO member state to implement Ngap strategies in their countries too. Thank you.
Thank you, Oshada. And that brings to a close our presentation on Ngap Sri Lanka. Before signing out, let us all put our hands together once again for a final round of applause for all these young children and the dignitaries on the head table. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.